powers, I could be a superhero!
I'm a superhero! I'm a superhero! I'm a superhero! I'm a superhero! And business would ask me!
With the success of American superhero films, more superhero material have begun to appear, ranging from animated films, live-action TV series, merchandise, and even the return of older franchises. The same can also be found in anime. Most people assume these are the only 3 superhero anime, but that's far from the truth. Many superhero classics have existed since the 1960s and 1970s. Well, possibly even older because Golden Bat predates everybody.
Wait, he's a hero? He looks like a villain!
But this video is not about the history of anime superheroes, it's an introduction to the top 50 superhero anime. Because there is that many, and many more are on the way. Currently in 2017, there's a lot of news of superhero material, with Stan Lee's The Reflection coming in July, and Infini-T Force in October. Previously on issue 1, I already covered Samurai Flamenco, Astro Fighter Sunred, Precarious Woman Executive Miss Black General, and Stan Lee's Hero Man. You can support Hero Man by either watching it on Crunchyroll or by purchasing the manga, which has a lot of differences from the anime. This video is issue 2, welcoming you into the world of superhero anime and manga. Close your tab of naughty pictures because it's hero time! I got a lot of work to do in this video, because before I talk about the future, I need to visit the past. There's this anime called Infini-T Force, which is a crossover featuring 4 superheroes from Tatsunoko, who are celebrating their 55th anniversary. That same studio would also be releasing Taibokon 24 Season 2 in October 2017. This company will constantly be featured in this list, so to properly explain what heroes are in Infini-T Force, what is Taibokon, and what's the big deal of Tatsunoko, I'm gonna go back to the 1960s, 1970s, the 1990s, and the 2010s. So let me explain Tatsunoko production. Have you guys heard of the Nintendo Wii game, Tatsunoko Vs Capcom? Tatsunoko production is responsible for a lot of superhero anime, with the most active years being the 1970s, which eventually boomed into huge success by having multiple sequels and reboots of their previous shows. Many of their characters were featured in the 2008 fighting game Tatsunoko Vs Capcom, or TVC. In 2010, when TVC appeared in the USA, nobody knew who these characters were.
You're clearly a noob, good sir. So, which one of you is next?
I don't even know what the company Tatsunoko is, so I might not get into this game. I am sorry.
Basically, before people were confused with the roster of J-Star's Victory Versus, there was this game which did well until Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a thing. The only characters people might have been familiar with were the cast of Gatchaman, Kashan, maybe Karas, and possibly Technoman and Tekkaman. I'm pretty sure people were confused about the 2 Tekkamans. Hell, people are confused now with Gatchaman Crowds and Cashin Sins. All of the Tatsunoko characters have anime adaptations, which are slowly becoming available in the English language. Meanwhile, others such as Gold Lightan are not licensed, resulting in obscure raw anime. Tatsunoko is a very successful studio, which will eventually lead into Infini-T Force, a CGI anime crossover featuring 4 characters from 4 Tatsunoko series, being Candy Eagle from Gatchaman, Azuma Tetsuya from Kashan, Yoroi Takeshi from Hurricane Polymer, and Minami Joji from the first Tekkaman. These characters actually crossed over before in another game titled Tatsunoko Fight, and the OVA Taibokon Royal Revival. It was a really short scene but a fun one. Meanwhile, Tatsunoko Fight features new animation of a game-only hero, Volter. It also includes crediterless opening and ending themes mixed in with their arcade gameplay. Infini-T Force will be animated by the amazing studio Digital Frontier, who has worked on various films with spectacular CGI animation, so there's nothing to worry about in its visual quality. If you're still in doubt, then watch Gantz O, which is available on Netflix. Review in the description. Infini-T Force will premiere in October 2017, so let's get ready by exploring the superhero roots of Tatsunoko. In 1962, Tatsunoko Production was founded by Tatsuo Yoshida, whose earliest works include Speed Racer, Judo Boy aka Kurenai Sanshiro, and Space Ace. The popularity of Speed Racer goes without saying, and I'm looking forward to watching this anime once Funimation releases it for home video on DVD and Blu-ray.
See the next episode of Speed Racer.
Someday I'll find out who he is, and someday we'll have a race between just the two.
Tatsunoko is known for having a wide selection of shows, ranging from anime about anthropomorphic animals, adaptation of novels, and its recurring usage of superheroes. This studio has done many things throughout the years. Some are collaborations, while others are their own creations. Tatsuo Yoshida seems to be the man responsible for most of the company's success, until he passed away in 1977. Perhaps you can call him the Jack Kirby or the Stan Lee of anime, especially when the following heroes have received American exposure with mixed results. Part of this is because Tatsunoko can appeal to a Western audience, as most of the character designs can easily be mistaken for American cartoon. Tatsuo Yoshida had an interest in Western animation, and he's often trying to replicate it. Characters have a more universal look to them. They seem to be from any part of the world, despite the shows having cities being named after real locations. As a result of this art style, certain characters, mostly the women, have very brightly colored lips. Gosh, those lips look so good! Plus, the characters have realistic human anatomy, or they could go in the opposite direction with designs that are intentionally goofy, which adds to its charm. Some of the kids will look a little weird at first, but you'll get used to it. The point is, I wish Tatsunoko did more modern stuff in their older art style, as all of their recent anime material look as if they're catering to the current times out of fear of being ignored, rather than embracing the outrageous over-the-top style in their early days. An easy example are the villains of Taibokon 24. In costume, they look cool and evil, but in their civilian clothes, the guys have a cutesy look to their faces. It's pretty noticeable when you compare them to other Taibokon villains. Then again, Tatsunoko did the same thing during the 1990s. In their redesigned costumes, they look awesome. I am impressed how these superheroes transitioned well 20 years after their debut, but take the suit off and they look drastically different from their source material. Again, they seem to be catering to the standards of the 90s rather than using an updated look of their 1970s counterpart, which good examples of that would be the Gatchaman 98 and the Gatchaman SMAP designs. The clothes represent the new times, but their faces and body shape are still the same. I would like to see something like this in the future. Hopefully, Infini-T Force will bring back their original appearances.
Speed, listen to me. The bridge is out ahead. You're in extreme danger.
The bridge is out?
Don't worry, Speed. I have good news.
Tell me, Trixie.
I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
There were 3 shows that helped get the ball rolling for Tatsunoko, the first being a live-action ninja series known as Ninja Squad Moonlight, or released in English as Phantom Agents. The first Tatsunoko anime was Space Ace, which was obviously influenced by Astro Boy, but their second anime series was probably their most successful in localizing, being Mach Go Go Go, or its Americanized name, Speed Racer. While it's not exactly a superhero anime, I do see a lot of early ideas that would later be reused in his superhero work, such as the inclusion of the character Racer X, who can be compared to Red Impulse from Gatchaman. And the same can be said with other works such as Kashan, which borrows the same motherly drama from the adventures of Hutch the Honeybee. The thing is, Tatsunoko has a habit of recycling ideas, concepts, characters, or even props. This could be seen as lazy, but it's also a very creative process, since it encourages viewers to explore their library or make compare and contrast with other shows. A few seconds ago I mentioned Racer X and Red Impulse. In their respective stories, they're secretly related to the main character. The audience knows right away who these masked individuals are, but the hero is left in the dark. Both Racer X and Red Impulse will help the hero while leaving their motives a mystery to both the characters and the viewers. This trope will later be seen in other works of fiction, mostly in Tokusatsu and Super Sentai, where we have an extra mysterious character helping out the heroes. This is a good example of recycling, but the ones that aren't the most deceptive are the reused designs, such as Hutch's waist being used for Mutan's torso, or Goran 5 being a recolored Pegasus from Tekkaman, or Calendar Man having a similar character formula as Hurricane Polymer. But none of these compare to the constant usage of recycled designs and recycled ideas as found in Taibokon, all 9 series. It's surprising how they managed to get away with it even in the modern age of 2017 with Taibokan 24, but that's a topic for the next issue. The point is, all the villains are kind of the same, and before the 2010s they were always voiced by the same trio of voice actors, which is actually a benefit to the show, but that's for later. Right now, we're gonna focus on the main 4 superheroes of Tatsunoko. I'm only gonna give you basic summaries, for each one of these anime deserve their own issue. There's that much to talk about, so before I explain those series, let's take a little break.